Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. And so you decided to pull on Kamisato Ayaka. Well, first of all, congratulations, you've made the correct life decision. Round of applause for yourself, pat yourself on the back. This is a fabulous decision because Kamisato Ayaka is simply the best. So, now what? What do you need? Well, first of all, you need gems. You need a lot of primo gems, because you know how some of these the banners can be these days, right? A lot of primo gems. Make sure you get a bit lucky. Even if you're on your guaranteed, I mean, you'd rather get it earlier than on pity, right? So and if not, then get some money to buy gems. I don't know. You need gems. I mean, there's no two ways around it. You definitely need gems. So after you secured the bag, looking at what materials you definitely need to prepare for her, right? So first of all, in terms of her Ascension Materials, she does ascend from the Perpetual Mechanical Array drops, right? So these, it's called a Perpetual Heart, which sounds kind of weird, but I mean, gotta do it for her, right? So in total, you need 46 of them. You need 46 of them. On average, it drops 2 to 3 of these per run. So it's what, 40 resin per collection, right? 2 to 3 per run. So let's say average 2.5 per drop. So on average, you'll need 19 runs to fully have the Ascension Materials there. Per 40 resin, it's 736 resin, which is a decent amount of resin, let's be real. So on top of that, with the other Ascension Materials, right, you need one of these, the Jade Slivers. Thankfully, the Perpetual Mechanical Array does have a chance to drop them while you're farming them. 9 of these, and 6 of these. So yeah, obviously you could craft them and eventually get. They're not super hard to get, right? Usually you need more runs to get this maxed out than you really need runs to get these maxed out, right? So especially if you already had a decent amount beforehand. After that, you'll need a bunch of stuff that doesn't really cost resin to ascend her, right? First of all, being Sakura Blooms. So Sakura Blooms, they're all over Inazuma. It's just these piles of things. You can't really get them unless you electrify them. After you hit it with an Electro, then you could pick it up. Sakura Bloom. Leave some routes that are made by Skyverlash, right? So credit Skyverlash for these routes, and you guys could check them out for yourselves, and good luck on collecting them, because they're slightly annoying to collect, let's be real, because you need a lot. You need a total of 168 of these, right, for max ascension on Ayaka, so it's gonna take a while. Next thing you need to farm in terms of drops for Ascension Materials are hand guards, and these are terrible to farm. They're so bad to farm. They are so bad. So they drop from these samurai guys, which you can see all over Inazuma, but the thing is, the drop rates are atrocious for them. They're absolutely terrible, and you need a lot of them, not only just for Ayaka's Ascension, but you also need these for her talent materials as well, right? So you will be farming this for days. Hopefully you have enough friends or nice people that are willing to let you join their co-op world to farm them, because they're terrible to farm. I'll link the handguard route and here as well, so you could farm these. So shout outs to Mutisma, I think I pronounced that correctly, hopefully, for making these handguard farming routes, which are very, very helpful. And you need a decent amount of them. You need 18 of the old handguard, 30 of the Kageuchi handguard, the second one, and then 36 of the famed handguard, the third one. So, but if you think, oh, that's not that many, that's only for the Ascension Materials. Wait till we get to the talent section. And as usual, you'll need 419 heroes wits to max out to level 90, and around 2 million or so more to get her to level 90 as well. So anyways, speaking of talent materials, this is the costly part. So here's the thing with Ayaka, right? I personally like using Ayaka as like a 3-level damage dealer, in the sense that she could deal damage with her burst, deal damage with her elemental skill, and deal damage with her normal / charge attacks. All 3 can definitely give you some really, really good damage in, right? In terms of priority, though, I'd say prioritize her burst, right? Prioritize her burst, because her burst is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best bursts in the game in terms of dealing damage. It's just so powerful. It's so powerful. It's like this huge tornado of snowflakes that just cuts through the opponents, right? Hits around like 20 times each cuts. Big multipliers on each cuts. Balloon damage at the end. It explodes. Like, it's very, very powerful. Trust me. Anyways, and so that would be the one I'd focus on the first. If you're using her as a main damage dealer, I'd focus on her normal / charged, mostly her charged, because that's where she gets a lot of her damage from, right, as well, or charge attacks. I'd focus on her charged second, right, and then I'd go for her elemental skill in the end, unless you're running like a quick swap Ayaka, right, then I'd go for burst first, then maybe elemental, and then, you know, normals, right, because again, her normal, well, her charged definitely do some solid damage. So in terms of how many you need to farm for that, so what you do need is you need the philosophies of elegance over here, right? And if you're going to like try to max it out, it's going to cost you a decent amount, right? It's going to cost you a decent amount if you're trying to triple crown her, right? But obviously not everyone goes for the triple crown, although you probably should. Slightly ironic because I don't have, or I have her double crown. I'm missing that one more. All right, I'm gonna do it soon. I'm just slightly short on Mora. I say short on Mora, but I have like 9 million right now. It's for other characters. I swear, I'll triple crown her eventually. But yeah, if you are looking to triple crown her, you need first of all 9 of these, 9 teachings of elegance, and you'll need 63 guide to elegance and 114 philosophies of elegance. So good luck with your resin. But if you're not looking to crown her, right? And obviously you don't have to, it'll take you a bit less. If you're just going for a level 999, then you'll only need, again, you'll still need 9 of these, still need 63 of these, but for the gold ones, you only need 66, so it's not as bad. All right, it's definitely not as bad. So, and if you want to calculate the individual cost for each, just divide it by 3. So what would be what? 3 of these, 21 of these, and 33 of these. I don't know, it's just mental math. I might be wrong. 22, not 33. Anyways, you guys are probably better at math than I am. As for the other stuff that we need for the talent materials, we are back with, unfortunately, hand guards. Again, it sucks, but it is what it is, you know? You need hand guards for her. What can you do, right? You need a lot of hand guards. A lot of hand guards for a lot of Inazuma characters, to be fair. So, anyways, so for talent materials, if you're going for triple crown, right? If you're going for triple crown, you'll need 18 of these, right? 66 of these, and 93 of these, which is a lot. So again, good luck farming these. I'll let you know I do sympathize. My thoughts and prayers with all of you guys who are farming for hand guards. It's not a simple task. It's not. Although for those who aren't trying to triple crown and just going for level 9, it's not as bad, right? If you're not going for triple crown, I think it should be something like 18 of these, 66 of these, and then 57 of these. Again, I had the routes for farming these earlier, so if you want to go back to the video a bit, right, in terms of the Ascension part, you'll find it there. As for the Mora, the talent material costs you a fortune, honestly. It's like, I think 4.9 million, just almost 5 million if you want to triple crown her. If you don't triple crown, it's not as bad. It's still pretty bad. It's like 2.8 million, 2.85 million Mora, right, to triple level 9 her talents. And then for the weekly boss drops, you need this thing. It's from the Big Frog, Azdaha, right? Challenge reward, which, you know, if you played long enough, you should have a decent amount. If you don't, then you could always exchange these, right? Or for these as well. And again, triple crown, you'll need 18 of these. If not, then only 12 if you're going for a level 9, which isn't that bad. And again, if you're looking for one individual, you know, talent, just divide by 3, right? So there's that. All right, now moving on into what weapons you need to prepare for Ayaka, right? So starting from the top in terms of, you know, 5-star weapons, Mist Splitter Reforged is by far her best weapon, right? Crit damage substat, you know, pretty decent main stat, you know, numbers here as well, and then gives you elemental damage bonus. That's by far her best weapon. It's probably her signature weapon, right? Looks really nice on her. It's purple, which looks cool. So yeah, that's the best one. Summon Shaper's actually pretty decent for her too. You know, if you could get the max stacks, because of the fact that since she is cryo, right? Since she is cryo, you don't have to worry too much about crit rate. So you don't have to worry too much about crit rate, which is really, really nice, right? So you could, you know, hone into more of the crit damage stuff, more into the attack percentage stuff, right? So Summon Shaper could actually be pretty nice for, again, if you could get the max stacks over here, right? So yeah, and especially if you also get an extra shielder, right, to increase that even further. So you could go with Summon Shaper. If you can't really, you know, maintain it, then it might not be as good. But then after that, I'd say something like Primordial Jade Cutter, right? Even though this is crit rate, but you know, it does give you the extra attack bonus as well, right? Attack percentage bonus based on your HP, which is really, really nice. After that, it's like, I guess it's just really any of the other swords. Oh, also the Haran is pretty decent too, right? You also get the 12% elemental damage bonus as well. The only thing is your normal attack, it doesn't do too much for you, because Ayaka's normal attacks are fine, but her bread and butter is mainly her burst plus her charged attacks, right, rather than normal attacks, right, unfortunately. What else? I guess stuff like, you know, all the other 5-star swords are still fine. Aquila Livonia, just because that's a pretty good attack stat, is nice. 20% attack increase, which is cool. I mean, it's something, right? These are just mainly just stat sticks at this point, just for the main stat sticks, like Aquila Livonia, Skyward Blade, and stuff, right? Freedom Sworn, you're not getting too much out of the elemental mastery, unfortunately. Yeah, Skyward Blade's energy recharge is pretty good too, I guess, right? So yeah, I mean, it's okay. Again, 5-star weapons are just always decent for the sake of, you know, the high stats. But after that, kind of after, I'd say, you know, Mist Splitter, like, she just doesn't have that many like fantastic 5-star options, right? I do feel like it kind of falls off a bit after Mist Splitter, just because it's only it's the only crit damage percentage 5-star weapon. But, you know, again, all these other ones are fine because they're 5-star weapons. So after that, I'd say if you look at 4-star options, Blackcliff is nice. You do have crit damage over here, right? So that is definitely nice. A free-to-play weapon that's really, really good is Aminoma Kageuchi. There's no I there. Kageuchi? That's better. I think that's better. Which does give you these succession seeds, which could help get your burst up faster, right? Because these give you, you know, energy, right, back. So that's definitely really nice. Gives you attack percentage as well, right? So that's cool. The Black Sword's okay too. It is crit rate substat, right? But it does give you charge attack, extra charge attack damage, heals you, which is cool as well. And yeah, those are basically the ones you really want to, you know, go for. I guess something like a Sack Sword's not the worst. You know, you could double spam your elemental skills just for the extra energy regen. But, you know, generally you're running a battery for Ayaka anyways, so you don't have to worry about this too much, honestly. But yeah, I'd say something like Aminoma is probably one of the better ones, better 4-star options, especially if you get, you know, extra refinements on it, so that's really nice. In terms of 3 stars, I guess Harbinger of Dawn, just because crit damage substat, right? You do have to maintain the 90% above HP, so maybe like a shielder, healer, etc. to get that extra crit rate. But also, if you have enough crit rate, it doesn't really matter that much, honestly, because of the fact that being cryo, there's just a lot of sources of crits. So I won't worry about this. Won't worry about this too much. Now going into artifact sets. She's a cryo character. You want to get Blizzard on her, right? 4-piece Blizzard is just fantastic. 2-piece gets you extra 15% cryo damage bonus, and then 4-piece gives you extra crit rate, extra 20% crit rate when the opponent is affected by cryo, right? And if they're frozen, that's an extra 20%. And she's very, very great in freeze teams. She's fantastic in freeze teams, right? Freeze team is just like, that's 40% crit rate for like what? for just having the artifact on and, you know, hitting the opponent once with cryo. And it's very, very easy to affect the opponent with cryo because of your passive. You could just run into them, right? You just do your like little dash over here and then hit them once, or you could just dash into them and they still get affected by cryo, right? Like, boom, they're affected by cryo. You get the extra 20% crit rate already, just for running into them, right? And then if you free them, that's another 20%. That's why, again, when looking at artifacts and looking at weapons, you don't have to worry too much about crit rate stuff, right? Again, because of the fact that you just get so much crit rate regardless. And if you have, you know, double cryo on your team, that's an extra 15% crit rate as well. So that's already what, 55%, you know, free crit rate against opponents that are like frozen, right? Like, you don't really need crit rate, right? That's the other great thing about Ayaka. If you are building her, in terms of artifacts, it's not that hard, right? Because of the fact you don't have to go for a crit rate artifacts, because you know how hard crit rate comes, you know, have to come by, right? So 4-piece builder is definitely the way to go. You could go with like a 2-piece plus like 18% attack sets while you're, I guess, you know, when you don't have everything set yet as just like a temporary piece. But I definitely would try to go for 4-piece as much as, you know, you can, right? I guess you could also go for like 2-piece Blizzard Share, 2-piece like Noblesse for extra damage and a burst. But again, go for the 4-piece Blizzard Share. It's so good, right? That's the big advantage like cryo characters have over like a lot of other types, is the fact that they could just have Blizzard Share, and it's just so good, right? So in terms of stats that you want, obviously feathers and flowers, they have set stats. For your sands, I would go with attack percentage, right? You could go with energy recharge if you're really down bad on that, but I go with attack percentage. Just bring batteries. There's a lot of really great cryo batteries, like a Diona, like a Rosaria, right? You really don't have to worry about that, honestly. Just go for attack percentage for your main stat, cryo damage bonus for your goblet, and crit damage for your circlet. If not, you could maybe go for like a attack percentage as well, because, you know, circlets are kind of hard to come by as well, in terms of, you know, what you're trying to get. The artifact RNG, you know, it is what it is, right? As for your substats, focus on crit damage. Number one, focus on crit damage, right? Just to get, again, since you really don't need that much crit rate, you just go for as much crit damage as you can, and then after that, go for attack percentage, right? And then maybe energy recharge, and then after that, maybe crit rate, right? Just to round it up a bit, you know, like you don't want just 55%, you know, crit rate sitting there, right? But if you can, I guess, or if you're out of other stuff to get, if you could, like, okay, here's how I'd put it. If you roll a crit rate, it's not the end of the world, right? It's still something, right? But yeah, those are the ones I'd go in terms of order, right? Crit damage, number 1, attack percentage, number 2, energy recharge, number 3, and then flat attack, crit rate, all that other stuff is fine. You don't really need elemental mastery, you don't need defense, HP, all that stuff. Unless you're running like Primordial Jade Cutter, then if you get HP percentage, then that's not terrible either, I guess. But again, you mainly want crit damage, attack percent, and energy recharge, right? So that's for artifacts. In terms of teammates, I guess, to prepare for Shenghe is very good, right? Shenghe is like the cryo support. Like, she's incredibly good. If you have her, that's great. Kokomi can be really good as well, especially for freeze. You know, if you're trying to, because you want to run freeze with her, right? You want to at least find a hydro character, at least against characters that you can freeze, right? You want to get freeze in, right? So Kokomi is a great option. Xingqiu is great, right? Especially everyone's getting a free one. Get that free Xingqiu. He's one of the best characters in the game. Please go get that free Xingqiu. I guess if you're super down bad, Barbara's fine too, I guess, right? Mona's really nice because, you know, if you freeze, you get the extended omen, so that's extra damage over there as well, right? And I guess her brother is decent too with the with his ult. He has the AoE, you know, hydro application. Also, why did it just suddenly turn to Kokomi? That was weird. But yeah, those are some hydro characters that you should probably, you know, have in store or look to go for if you are, again, trying to run Ayaka. In terms of other cryo characters that you can run with Ayaka, because you want that double cryo character for the resonance plus to battery Ayaka's ult. So something like, again, Shenghe is probably one of the best options, right? Just because of her insane cryo buffing capabilities. Ganyu, if you want to just run like a alt freeze switch Ganyu, right? That, I guess, could be an option. You could do Rosaria is great as well, right? Especially you know, for battering Ayaka, right? Yeah, also even more crit rate. Diona over here, also for battery, you know, Favonia's bow or whatever, sack bow, etc. You know, really great particle generations for Ayaka. You also obviously have the heals, you have the shield, all that stuff. Kai's pretty decent there as well. I wouldn't really go for Chongyun. He's not the best option here, unfortunately. But yeah, those are really nice options in terms of cryo characters that could help out Ayaka, whether to do some extra damage support or just for more particle regens. And then as for something else in the last slot, just go for a Nemo character just for the resistance shred. Could be Venti, could be Kazuha. I don't have Kazuha. If you don't have either, you go for Sucrose. You have Jean, that's an option too, I guess, right? Obviously, universal supports such as Bennett is always going to be nice. Bennett, Zhongli, these sort of universal supports, again, always going to be good, right? So you could do Melt Ayaka. I'm personally not a huge fan of Melt Ayaka, just because, again, Blizzard Share is so good. Just make sure you get all the free stuff in, right? So yeah, anyways, that's all you really need to worry about when preparing for Ayaka. Obviously, remember the first one, the most important part, which is the gems and the lock. So good luck to everyone pulling on Ayaka. Hope y'all get her. Again, I will be pulling on Mist Splitter personally, which is a terrible banner. Let's be real. But I did a video going over it, but you know, good luck to me as well, I guess. If you want to, you know, catch the Mist Splitter live stream, make sure to, you know, tune in, right? As soon as the banner drops, at least on North America, I will be pulling for it live. So yeah, come over, join, have some fun. Watch me cry if I get like 2 unforged. That's gonna be so bad. But yeah, that's really this one. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel for some more Genshin Impact content, and I'll see you guys in the next one then.